We're living through the greatest wealth transfer in modern history, and most people don't even realize it. The old playbook, real estate, leverage, loans, but that model, cracking. Quietly, it's being replaced by something unstoppable, something borderless, trustless, and fair. They told us real estate was the answer, but was it ever? Let me start by saying this. Owning your own home, the place you raise your kid, cook your meals, build your life, that's beautiful. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about investment real estate. You know, when folks buy up multiple property tries to make the money work, that's a whole different ball game. Now that Bitcoin's here and the price is well over $100,000 per coin, investor are paying attention. They're realizing it's a better place to park their money. And when more and more of them move their capital into Bitcoin, guess what happened? Those properties they once held start hitting the market again. That's when regular people will finally have a shot at affording home. And if you're investing in Bitcoin now, you're in a really good position, not just to benefit from the rise in Bitcoin value, but also from the ripple effects that shift will have on real estate access and pricing. We are heading towards something that never happened before, a mass exit, and not from city, but from illusions that real estate is the best ways to build wealth. Because here's the truth. The numbers don't lie. Vacancies rates are climbing. Property taxes are rising. Rent controls are tightening. Regulations are squeezing margin. And the headaches, they never stop. Meanwhile, Bitcoin keeps marching forward, clean, predictable, fair, opens to anyone. Some people had dozens of homes, apartment buildings, even shopping center. And guess what? A lot of them eventually sold it all. Why? Because when they compare what real estates give them to what Bitcoins could give them, it wasn't even close. Let's pause here. This isn't some theoretical shift. This is a massive rotation happening in real time. And it's not just one or two investors. It's a growing wave of people who realize that Bitcoin isn't just a shiny new asset. It's a fundamentally better place to store value, especially in a world where governments are printing money like there's no tomorrow. And the real estate investor who waits too long, they'll be left with a portfolio of depreciating buildings, rising costs, falling tenant, and economy shifting beneath their feet. Because the next generation doesn't want to rent forever. They want freedom. They want ownership. And as Bitcoin rises, they finally be able to afford it. Real estate sounds stable. It's tangible. You can't touch it. But owning property, it's like signing up for 24/7 stress. Toilet clog, AC break, tenants vanish, roof leak, and you're the one on call. Bitcoin, it just sitting there and appreciates. Doesn't call you, doesn't leak, doesn't need landscaping. And let's not ignore the maintenance treadmill. Real estate demands constant energy. You fix one thing, another break. You hire a plumber, deal with inspector, renew permits, argue with tenants. The entire game is reactive. Bitcoin, none of that. You set your key, stay secure, and lets the protocol do its thing. They say real estate bring passive income, but let's be honest, it's rarely passive. You chasing tenant, dealing with city codes, handling taxes, insurance, and repairs. That passive checks comes with a long list of chores. And when some of these real estate folks really dug into Bitcoin after years of study, they had a moment, a big one. They realized, wait a minute, I never really owned anything until I own Bitcoin. Think about it. If you have a mortgage, the bank owns your house. Even if you pay it off, you still owe property taxes. Miss those and you're out. That's not true ownership. But with Bitcoin, if you hold the key, it's yours, really yours. Here's the stat that'll make you pause. About 17 to 20% of real estate is sitting empty. Not because there's no demand, but because investors are using homes like piggy banks. They park money in properties, let them sit and wait. And that's a huge part of why housing is so affordable right now. But now Bitcoin exists, and guess what? Investors are waking up. They're starting to see Bitcoin as the smarter play. No taxes just to hold it. No plumbing. No zoning drama. Just value. Pure value. And once enough investor makes that switch, you start seeing more homes go back to the market, making it easier for regular folks to actually buy a home. There is hope again. We could be entering a future where first-time home buyer no longer have to compete with hedge funds and mega landlords. Where a young couple work hard can actually buy a home in the neighborhood they grew up in because the investor, they're heading to Bitcoin and leaving the bidding war behind. So if you're already stacking Bitcoin or Satoshi, you're ahead of the game. Let's go back to the cash flows buzzword everyone in real estate loves. They throw it around like it's magic. But honestly, cash flow is just a consolation prize for being stuck in a liquid asset. With Bitcoin, you want liquidity? Done. Sell a little. Boom. Instant cash. No agent. No paperwork. No inspections. Real estate is local, but Bitcoin is global. Real estate needs maintenance. Bitcoin doesn't age. Real estate needs approval. Bitcoin doesn't ask. And you know why so many people flex about the real estate? It's not the property. It's the image. It's say, look at me, I made it. But deep down, a lot of those folks are stressed because that portfolio, it's a full-time job. Meanwhile, Bitcoin, it's working in the background, silently, appreciating with no drama. And the big one, taxes. Real estate bleed monies through property taxes, income taxes, capital gains, you name it. But with Bitcoin, if you hold it, there's no tax. Sell it, you pay tax only on the gain. And it's usually lower than rental income tax. This isn't just about return. It's about mindset. Real estate says, work harder, do more, take on more risk. Bitcoin says, protect your time, your energy, your future. Look, saving in Bitcoin isn't being lazy. It's being smart. You're letting others fight over broken water heaters while you build peace of mind. And that's the kind of shift we need. The monetary premiums, that extra hump in price that used to belong to lands and stock, it's flowing into Bitcoin quietly, powerfully, because it works better. It just does. And you don't need $1 million to play this game. All you need is to start just a little bit, because it's not about where you begin. It's about where this thing is going. The future isn't being built with bricks. It's being built with blocks, code, scarcity, integrity. Bitcoin isn't just an asset. It's a revolution. The window is still open. The properties are still overvalued, but not for long. When those holding 5, 10, even 50 investment properties start exiting, when they cash out and convert to Bitcoin, the floodgates will open. And the people who thought they'd never be able to own a home, they'll finally have a shot. Maybe even in the city they were priced out of years ago. So if you are in already, you're early. If you're still learning, that's perfect. Just don't wait until it's the tipping point, because it's coming. Bitcoin is not just giving freedom, it's giving affordability. And one day soon, we're looking around and see regular folks holding keys to homes they once thought they only rent forever. And to think this entire shift, it was sparked by digital assets the world laughed at, dismissed it, ignored. But quietly, it grew stronger. It stayed true. And now it's flipping the script on everything we thought we knew. Funny how the most powerful revolutions don't scream, they whisper until they're impossible to ignore. If this message hit home, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people wake up to what's really happening. And my friends, whatever amount you have, don't forget to hold it tight and stack it right. Right? Take care.